here somewhere. Also, I really hope Egg is sneaky because the last follower, that Savior guy, was just not really into sneaking. Oh, that looks secret. Egg isn't even here. Oh. Did you teleport there? Okay, where are the people with... That's a dead skier. Of course they have skiers here. Disgusting.
Huh?
Shh! Egg, quiet. There's a guy here. Is this person also an extra thing added from this mod? Because this tree looks like it doesn't belong here. Hello, my fellow superior mer friends. Oh, you're a cat.
This one needs something?
No, please. Be free. There's no one in here. Let's go. Riot! Alright, guys.
The smell of dank earth and worm-eaten wood is gonna make me lose my last meal.
I didn't really want to know that. Let's go take the fort, guys. For the glory of the Altmary Dominion! How long is it gonna take you guys to kill one filthy human? We did it. Good job. Did they even make it in here? I feel they didn't even make it. What? Some superior more you are. Hey, stop running. Oh my god. Congratulations, you made it.
Good work there.
Thanks.
You should return to Alder and inform him of what has happened. I will make sure these ones are returned.
Okay. Goodbye. Hey.
Couldn't you be bothering someone else?
I wasn't talking to you, bitch.
You've returned. How did it go?
I saved everyone, I think.
Excellent. That should send a strong enough message. Anyway, if you feel like trying it again, there are multiple forts around Skyrim, still under the control of Skyrim. It is reasonable to suspect that they also have prisoners held within. So, if you'd be so kind as to release them, if you come across one.
Okay.
That is all for now. As ever, I will write you if and when you are needed.
Okay, are we gonna take another city next? Whiterun maybe? What's left? Well, Winterhold and Dawnstone are not really that important, so I won't bother about those, but Solitude and Windhelm, we should go there next.
Hey, got a letter for you. Good luck.
Thanks, but I'll marry Blacksmith?
Yes?
You didn't replace Barleymoon, right? Wait, you just came.
Speak quickly.
Wait, really?
Yeah?
Did they get rid of all the Nords? Wait, is Lizard guy still here? Gregor is not here? What? They even got rid of the beggars!
Hey, don't look at me that way. Who are you to judge me?
Who even are you? Wait, there was still a beggar left over there.
Ah, hello there, friend. You look familiar. Did you fight in the battle for Riften, perchance?
Yes? Who are you?
Yeah?
Yes, I did?
I thought so. Quite a battle, wasn't it? The Nords didn't know what hit them.
Yeah.
The name's Rinor. It's a pleasure to meet you properly. Was there something I can help you with?
I don't know.
I see.
Who
I'd be
are
happy
you?
to answer whatever I can.
What? How are you finding Skyrim?
They told me it was cold up here, but... Well, hearing it and feeling it are two different things, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess.
The worst part for me is how barren the place is.
I went to Crackhurst.
It's hardly surprising. This isn't exactly the environment for trees to grow. And those that do grow, the Nords have to cut down for firewood.
You have a problem with cutting down trees?
Of course. The Green Pact forbids us Bosmer from such acts. Unfortunately, it's necessary in a place like this. But I'm happy to let the Khajiit and Altmer do all the work.
There's not a lot of Bosmer, oh my god, that follow the Green Pact anymore. There's really not that many.
Well, I was born in
Also,
Valenwood,
what
as you
kind
can
of
imagine.
armor are you
A
wearing
small
then
fishing
with this
village, west of Woodheart.
stuff?
It was a long
Ah.
time ago now, of course. But I lived there for many years.
Do you have any family back home?
Not anymore. I lost both parents to the First Great War. And my sister? Well, I'd rather not talk about her.
Okay, why did you join the army?
The first time I took up a blade was during the Great War. My parents went to fight for the Dominion, and I wasn't going to be left behind. The Thalmor told us all manner of terrible things the Empire did, and planned on doing. I could hardly sit and wait for them to do it. Turns out, Emperor Mead was all bark and no bite. I only got to fight in one battle in Cyrodiil before the surrender.
You fought in the First Great War?
Oh yes,
Yeah, he said
though,
so.
as I said, it was over soon after I joined up. I might have seen Skyrim earlier if the Empire had not surrendered so soon. Though, I see now that I didn't miss much.
Not really. What do you think of the Altmeri Dominion?
Their methodology is extreme, I'll admit. But they get the job done.
Is it now?
No one can argue that. When I was a child, I remember asking my mother why the leaders we bowed to were men, Imperials. She couldn't give me a straight answer then, and no one has been able to since. Why shouldn't we Mer rule ourselves? It makes sense to me.
Well, the guys are not really about just ruling themselves, they're more about ruling over everyone else.
I told you, I'd rather not talk about it.
Okay.
Sorry, I shouldn't have snapped like that. It's a sensitive subject, you see. When Valenwood agreed to join the Dominion, the Thalmor began what they called a cleansing of the provinces. Certain undesirable people were taken away and never seen again. I have supported the Dominion since the beginning. But when those justiciars came looking for my sister, I could have put an arrow straight through each of their faces. The commotion I caused gave her enough time to escape the village. But how far she got, or if she's still alive, I don't know.
Okay. Random
See
person
you.
that just... Well, is there more random people I can talk to? Oh, hey, you!
You look like someone who can hold their liquor.
Why
How
are you
about a
out
friendly
here?
contest to win a
Good
staff?
day.
No, why are you out here? Wait, actually, we got a letter. I kind of completely forgot. Whiterun! Yes! Finally! Alright, let's go. Guys. Do I need to talk to Guy first? No. Is my new best friend Bosmer guy here? He's my new best friend. Okay, break through the barricades. Whiterun, I think, is one of the cities that is the best defended? Question mark? I don't know. Well, when you have to defend it in the Civil War. Ah, please stop raining. Come on, Shadowmere. Hey, don't run! Don't run! I need you to assist me with this. Just stand here and let these guys
Time to finish this. You won't live to see tomorrow.
open the drawbridge. Let's go. Okay, opening the drawbridge. Wait,
Never should have.
you're already out here. Why are you not opening the drawbridge? You incompetent heck. Alright, we're in. Yeah, Valkyrie, I'm coming to kill you and I'm so sorry. Oh my god, Shadowmere! You made it! I'm so glad! Oh, everyone made it! Finally! Did we do it? Oh my
I'm getting
god,
out of
we did
here.
it. You are not getting out of here. That was a nice egg. Shadow mirror. You did amazing. Where do you hear that? That's. Do you hear that egg? There's like people screaming and
I'm
stuff.
right behind you.
That's good. Interesting.
Couldn't you be bothering someone else?
No. Can I sit?
That is all.
across from you? No, I can't.
Good.
Ugh, I didn't get really a quest mark or anything, so I'm just gonna bother you now. What can you tell me about yourself?
I was born in Alenor. My parents were not people of particular importance, and they died when I was rather young. I was forced to make my own way in the world, and I believe I succeeded. Working your way to the top isn't easy, of course. I had to start at the bottom. I initially joined the Dominion military and made my way up the ranks, but the progress was too slow. About a year before Tiber Septim began his conquest of Tamriel, I left the military and joined the Thalmor. They were, as they still are, the governing body of the Dominion, as I'm sure you know. I was still relatively new when the conquest began. And I have always said that had I been in a higher position and had more say in the defense of the province, he might not have taken it.
Sure.
After the
Believe whatever
Empire
you
was
want.
formed and the Dominion was disbanded, the Thalmor shrank significantly. Many members left, believing the organization to be at its end. I persisted, and this mass exodus made it much easier to move up through the ranks. By the time of the Oblivion Crisis, we were known as no more than a political splinter group. Radicals, they called us. We seized the opportunity presented by the crisis to bring ourselves back into the mainstream. As you can tell from the fact that you are standing here talking to me, we succeeded. I was one of the first members of the Thalmor to suggest taking on the Empire. We knew they were weak after the death of the last Septim Emperor, and we needed to act on it. Being separate from the Empire wasn't enough for me. Well, eventually the Dominion and the Empire declared war on each other, and you know the rest, I'm sure.
Yes. What happened to the Second Dominion?
Well, when Tiber Septim conquered all of Tamriel and created the Empire, he removed or destroyed any pre-existing empires. That included the military union between Somerset Isle and Valenwood, which was the Second Altmeri Dominion.
Second Altmeri Dominion?
Yes, the second one. The Aldmeri Dominion has collapsed and been rebuilt multiple times. You have the honor of being a member of the Third Aldmeri Dominion.
You were alive at the same time as Tiber Septim? When was that? 200 years, over 200 years ago. Didn't Vivek killed him once? Or well, one of his incarnations or whatever the heck.
Yes, of course. We Altmer can live rather
Yeah,
long
I
lives,
know.
you know. I was already a member of the Dominion's
But I don't
military
know
when Tiber
exactly
Septim was
how
born.
long ago that was. I know the
I
Oblivion
outlived
Crisis was
him
about,
as well, just as I
200 years
outlived
ago
all
from
of the Septim
time
Emperors.
Skyrim starts and stuff with Morrowind. Or Morrowind is 6 years before Oblivion. You must have seen a lot in your time.
Oh yes, the Third Era was a particularly interesting period in time. I had the pleasure of meeting the Eternal Champion when they came to Somerset Isle to retrieve one of the pieces of the Staff of Chaos. I spent some time studying the warp in the West. Few people lived to see a dragon break take place. There was all that business with the rebirth of the Nerevarine in Morrowind. I fear I was unable to meet them before they left for Akavir. Then, of course, there was the Oblivion Crisis. I spent 3 days defending the Crystal Tower before I was overwhelmed and incapacitated by the Daedra. Luckily, I managed to survive using my mastery of magic. Then, when we finally fixed the problem the Empire created, they had the gall to credit this so-called hero of Kvatch with it. To me, that was the final straw for the Empire.
So Tyber Septim was in the third era, and that one was 433 years long. So yeah, you're old. How did the Dominion make so much progress in Cyrodiil so quickly?
Ah,
Because
yes,
they're
it was an
incompetent and they
ingenious
have
plan.
their forces in
I won't
Skyrim.
take all the credit for it, but I definitely had a say in it. It was a long play on our behalf. We had agents in the Imperial City working on it for weeks. We began taking out key political and military figures here and there. Some would suffer tragic hunting accidents, and some would simply disappear and were never heard from again. I'm sure the Empire had some kind of inclination as to what we were doing, but of course there was nothing they could do about it. Just as it was here in Skyrim, there were Thalmor agents all over Cyrodiil, especially the Imperial City. Our agents didn't even need to go undercover to carry out the attacks. On the day of the invasion, we moved to take the Emperor himself from his chambers, but he had already fled.
Emperor.
He must have been given a heads up by someone. It didn't make much difference.
He's dead.
Without him, the Empire was in disarray. When the invasion force reached the Cyrodiil border, what was left of the Imperial government went into a blind panic. By the time they had formed anything resembling a retaliation, we had taken most of southern Cyrodiil. I was almost disappointed by how easy it was.
No, you're so great and amazing. Okay, I guess that's, I don't know, wait
Good.
24
I was
hours.
getting bored.
God damn, I so wanna murder you. Yeah, let's wait 24 hours and see if we get anything new.